All right, happy Tuesday. It's Rockstar Rally Day, my favorite day of the week. I love spending time with you. I'm Jennifer Anderson, Superstar Director of Radiant Rockstars, and it's Q&A night. And I'm really excited because I asked you guys to submit your questions to me today, and I'm going to answer them. And I promise you that I'm an open book, and there are no secrets, and I always promise to tell the truth, okay? And if you know me, you know that I just don't sugarcoat anything, and I always tell you like it is, and I will tell you the real deal all the time. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And I just want to say too, thank you for being here, you guys, like those of you who are on this call live. It really does mean a lot to me, and it's so important. I think especially right now, I feel like the world is really like heavy right now. You know what I mean? And like I don't even watch the news, genuinely, especially since we moved out of my parents' house. For those of you who don't know, we built a house and lived with my parents for 6 months. My mom watches the news all day long, so I was like totally abreast of what is going on in the world. Well, in my real normal life, I do not watch the news. In fact, we don't have cable. We have Sling, and we don't even subscribe to like the news channels or the local news, like literally don't have it. So I don't know what's going on in the world most of the time. And honestly, like it's better for my heart that way, to not like have all of that coming in. But just from the general feeling I'm getting on social media, like I feel like the world is really heavy right now, in a lot of different ways. And so I just want to say, I think it's like awesome that you make showing up to Rockstar Rally a priority, and thank you for being here because you help make my job happier and better and fuller. But also, like, I know that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of other things you could do, and it's pretty cool that you choose to be here with us together. And I hope that Rockstar Rally is always something that you feel like gives you value in return. You know, I hope you feel like it's always something that, even if it's just like happiness or something to take your mind off of life or whatever. I'm just really grateful for you guys. And I love you.
All the way up and I
can't. So let's dive right in, and I'm going to answer your question. And someone said, yeah, I'm better off without the news. It's true. It's true for me. So my heart can't handle it. And the anxiety, like, I just don't, I got other things to do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so here we go. First question was from Amanda Breeding, and she said, do you set an alarm to get up? Either way, what time do you get up and what time do you usually go to bed? I feel like that's the only way I'll get time, I think she means to work or business, is by setting an alarm. So this is actually really funny that you asked this question today, because typically I do not set an alarm. And I wake up with my daughter, who usually wakes up anytime between 6 and 7. So whenever she gets up, I get up, I take care of her, and I'm really kind of focused on her until her nap time, which is usually about 12:30 or 1. And so I typically do not work in the mornings much at all. And then when she goes to nap, I can focus on Scentsy. So typically I don't really even start my Scentsy day until the afternoon. However, interestingly enough, today, I woke up before my daughter. I woke up at 6, and my first thought was like, are you serious? I was like so mad. So I was like, I need that. I would like another 45 minutes to an hour of sleep. Usually she doesn't start making noise until around 7. So I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I would love another hour. What the heck? My body just woke up and I was so mad. So I was tempted to like roll over, just lay in bed and like scroll on my phone, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up. So I got up, I put a robe on, came downstairs, made a cup of coffee, and I sat at my computer, and I spent a solid hour knocking out freaking work before she got up. And this morning, literally today, I was like, okay, I'm doing this every day, because it was an hour of focused, concentrated, intentional time that I had to my business. And it was like a ticking time bomb. It was like, I know she's going to be getting up soon, so let me get as much as I can done in this hour. And then I thought to myself, why don't I start every day like this? Right? And so I'm actually going to start setting an alarm I'm going to try 6 and see how that works for me. I may go to 5:30, just depending on whatever. Just so you know, my own personal schedule, like I do not work out in the morning. We take a walk every day. And at this point in my life, walking with my dog and my daughter is about as much as I can fit in for like taking care of my body. So we take a walk every day. We walk a couple miles. It's also 95 degrees when we walk. So I'm also like sweating balls and saunaing while I'm walking. So that's as much as I can do at this moment. But I think it's important to take care of your body in some regard. So whether that's workout, lift weights, go to the gym, or walk, I don't care. Just do something for your body. So with that being said, I don't have like a bedtime, but because I'm going to have an on a week time, I will sort of make myself go to bed at a certain time here on out. It'll probably be around 11 or 12, somewhere around there. I'm not someone who needs 8 hours of sleep. If you are that kind of person, make sure you get it. Sleep is very important. You know your body, you know your brain, you know how you work best. And so do what you need to do to make you the most successful person that you can be in business and life both, okay? Also, there's a lot of people who are going to tell you, get up super early, make your bed, do your workout, blah, 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 all these things. If you're a nighttime person, do your thing, okay? Do your stuff at night. If you're a morning person, get up early. I do not believe that everyone has to start their day super early and like, you know, I do not believe that that works for everyone. So make sure that you're staying true to yourself and that you are working in the way that's best for you. Don't try and force something because you'll quit. You'll quit. And I'm just saying that from experience. I am a morning person. I like mornings and I like quiet mornings. So it makes perfect sense for me to get up at 6, make coffee, and go to my computer and spend an hour having quiet, focused, intentional time that I can work on my business, okay? Whatever that is for you, do it for you. Amanda said, how much time on average do you spend in work a day? I would say, so I don't work on Sundays. I definitely take Sundays off. I usually lately have been taking Saturdays off as well because we're not in like an events season, like events aren't happening. I've been taking Saturdays and Sundays off both for my business. When events are here, I work on Saturdays or Sundays and I take other days off during the week. So I'll just let you know that. I think it's important you have at least one day where you don't work your business at all. Okay. It is okay. Your business will survive. Okay. And, it's important for you to have that rest day and do things that you love. So I don't work on Sunday, and I would say my days vary. As a superstar director, and now at this point in my business, I could work anywhere from 30 minutes in a day to 5 or 6 hours. And now let me give you a caveat. You cannot build a business in 15 minutes a day, okay? You cannot build a big business in 15 minutes a day. So don't believe that lie, and don't think like, okay, I can post to social, send out this one catalog, 15 minutes, okay, I'm done. You cannot build a big, huge business in 15 minutes a day. You can sustain a business in 15 minutes a day, and you can like get a couple things done. But if you want to build a business, get promoted, get paid at title, earn a trip, all of that, it's going to take more time. You have to devote more time to your business. And the amount of time that you devote to your business changes as your business grows. So believe me when I tell you that I used to work a full-time job and I would pick up side gigs, babysitting, house cleaning, all these other things. So I was married, full-time job, like other part-time jobs, and I worked Scentsy all at the same time for like a year and a half or 2 years. And when I worked Scentsy, I still worked that pretty full time, I would say 6 to 8 hours a day on average, if you're like averaging it out. So please hear me when I do say that it does take time, okay? And it is going to require you to be committed to your business. Now, did you hear what I say when I said now I work sometimes 30 minutes and sometimes 5 or 6 hours? That's because I've learned over 10 years what to do in my business that is profitable. I've learned how to be intentional and focused with my time. And on the days that I work 6 hours, probably at least 4 of them are spent coaching people. Okay. So if I'm working 6 hours, it's not that I'm working 6 hours placing orders or organizing crap. Like, I don't call that work anyway. Okay. I'm not working 6 hours doing stuff like that. Like, I would say at least 4 to 5 hours are spent coaching people, or like, this is work, right? This is work time for me. So I have an hour of work time tonight. So it's different every day. When you build your business to the point of superstar director and above, where a lot of your income is coming from director generation bonuses, that's where a lot of your time should be spent. Okay, is with directors and upcoming directors and building directors. That's where the coaching piece comes in. So I coach directors and above, and I'm just going to say this while we're speaking about coaching, to be very honest with you. I have been open for coaching to anyone on my team, and even a couple of other teams where I'm not the director, just because I know maybe a director isn't coaching. I've been opening sessions up for that. Many people have booked sessions and not shown up or did not follow directions. Okay, let me just tell you something. I'm no longer going to be available for coaching to do that, because when people do not show up, that is time that I could be spent working my business or spending time with my family. And I reserve that time aside to work on my business. So it's really important that if you book a coaching call with me, that you show up, because I'm here at my computer. And what if you booked a coaching call with me and I didn't show up for you? How would that make you feel, right? It's the same thing in return for me. Okay. So I just want you to understand that piece while we're talking about coaching. And I hate that I even have to say that, but it is reality, because I coach a lot of people and I want to be able to help people. But if you're taking a time block that someone else could have had who would show up, that's where we're at. Okay. Does that make sense? And thank you for agreeing with me in the chat. I really appreciate that. Bridget said, what's your follow-up system? Break it down. Also, how do you manage customer care and keep track of the details of each customer? Okay. So follow-up system, I have trained on this before, and it's still the same. I am a pen and paper person. I like pen and paper. You do you. If you like Amy, do Amy. If you like digital, do digital. If you like Excel spreadsheets, if you like the contacts tab in your workstation, do that. I like pen and paper. I have a binder, and I actually just started using this entire system like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. And this is my entire business in one binder. Okay. My whole entire business is right here. So this is my coaching. This is my customer care, follow-up, team side, everything, instead of having 8 bajillion binders. So this is the customer follow-up log that I use, the one that I have shared on Radiant Rockstars and actually have trained on it. So I do use the customer follow-up log here, and you can see it's blank, and I'll go over that with you in a second why. And then I have like a thank you and follow-up tracker. This isn't follow-up, but this will just show you, like, I log our numbers every day, annual mentor tracker, annual sales tracker, and yes, I will link all of these for you in the YouTube video and in Radiant Rockstars, okay? This is, I have a demo product list, so anything that I demo out or send to a customer as a thank you, you know how like you slip a scent circle here or a car bar there or a scent pack or whatever? Every time you do that, it is a business, it's a tax write-off, because it's a business expense. And I guarantee you, you got a lot of money that you didn't record that you shouldn't be paying taxes on. And so that's what this is for. Every time you give a product away, it goes in this demo product list, okay? Anytime you make samples with something, demo product list. This is a love brag tag. This helps me keep track of who tagged me on social media. So when my customers get something in the mail, they have this sticker on it. It says snap and share, and it has my Instagram handle on it. This sticker is also in Radiant Rockstars. So all I did was put my Instagram, it's blank. I put my Instagram handle on it, and I printed it actually on like, I just printed it 12 or 20 or something to a page of like a full sheet of stickers, and I just cut them. Like, it's really, really basic. really super basic. They're all different shapes and sizes, but nobody cares. It just says snap and share. That's all that's important. So my customers get that. So this keeps track of when they tag me on social media, so I can send them a sample or a scent circle or something like that. Pre-orders. I found this really helpful. Helps me keep track of, so for example, I just had 2 pre-orders for the International Wax Collection. Helps me keep track of who did it, what they got, when they paid for it, and all of that. So that's where my pre-orders are. Okay. Sample requests. Okay, this is something that, now I'm pen and paper, like I told you. I am a list person. Okay, so I'm just sharing the way I do things. Please don't think you have to do this to be successful, because you don't. But if you like it, try it. Okay, if you don't, find something else. There are a bajillion systems you can find on YouTube. You just have to search and do the work to put in the work to do it. Now, this is just a to-do list, but because all of our events are canceled right now, I have been actually shipping people orders from my stock. Okay, because I keep stock on hand because I do events, and instead of having people order on my PWS and wait several weeks for it, I've been sending them orders from my stock or things that I have, or customers who would normally shop with me during this weekend or whatever, right? I've been sending them things directly that I have on hand. So because I don't have that ticket in the workstation, I actually keep just like a list of like things that I mailed from my stock, right? So I have the name of the customer, what they got, and then how they paid. So because I don't have a ticket, or they're not appearing in my workstation as like they placed an order at a certain time, I keep a log here, and these people are getting samples, sent to the month samples for a couple months. So I make sure to add them in to my list. Okay, so that's that. Follow-up is done in here. Now, you see it's blank, and I'll explain why. So my brain, my life, my personality, I do not do follow-up mail every day. Nope. And honestly, I don't even do it every week. Okay. So typically, the way that I roll in my business is when someone places an order on my PWS or gives me an order as a customer, when they're giving me the order, I'm going to do all of the thank you that I need to do during the transaction. Okay. So I'm not going to send them a second thank you message the next day, because I just thank you so much. I really appreciate your support of my business, all within the transaction of them giving me the order. Okay. So that their thank you is done, like their verbal thank you. When someone places an order on my PWS, I would say within 2 to 3 days, I will text them or DM them. Thank you so much for your support of my business. I really appreciate it. Keep an eye out on your email for a tracking. Your order, you should have your order in 3 to 4 weeks. That's what I'm saying right now, just because our shipping is delayed. Okay. So I'll tell them that within 2 to 3 days, usually. I don't stress over the time. I'm not like, okay, instantly they get it, 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Like, and the reason I do that is because I will only continue doing a system if it doesn't stress me out and I like it and it's working for me. Okay. If I have the pressure of getting to everything within the day that they order, like I'm telling you, I will just retreat and be like, forget it. I'm not doing any of it. I can't. Okay. Cause I know myself and I know how that works. So I don't put that pressure on myself, but I do have a standard of 2 to 3 days. Within 2 to 3 days, they get that. Sometimes I get to it that day, but I'm not pressuring myself. Does that make sense? Okay. So they get a verbal thank you. And then typically what I do, so July, the first week of July, I take time that week. I do not coach that week. I do not do a lot of team stuff that week besides Rockstar Rally. And I did help people with points planner for the incentive because we just launched our new incentive. But the first week of the month, I do not do any coaching and I don't do a lot of team stuff. I really focus on my own business. The first week of July, I would go and do all of the thank you mail for June, the entire month. I just knock it out at one time. Okay. That's me. That's how I roll. You do whatever you want to do. If you want to do it every week, if you want to do it every 2 weeks, if you want to say every Wednesday, I'm going to do this, you do what works for you. Okay. So they get a verbal thank you from me telling them to keep an eye on their email for the shipping notification, because Scentsy will send it. I don't have to send it again. Okay. Scentsy will send it. And then they get something in the mail from me, and their thank you is either, it's very simple, a scent of the month flyer, a felt sample of the new scent of the month. If they had a big order, I would say if they ordered $75 or more, I'll send them a scent circle or a car bar or a scent pack or something that I have on hand. Okay. But I really don't send that for everyone. Don't feel pressured to send a scent circle to everyone who orders from you, because you don't have to do that. Okay. You can if you want to, but I'm just telling you, don't feel pressure to do that, because you don't have to. And then they get this thank you card. It's just a picture, like got pictures of me and my family on it. I have posted this to Radiant Rockstars. I will post it again for you so you can see, but it's just a personal, thank you so much for supporting my business. Got pictures, like put your family on the stuff. Then the back is blank. Okay. It also basically is a business card too. It's got my website. It's got my information, all of that. The back is blank, and I literally take a Sharpie and I'll just be like, thank you, Susan, XO, Jennifer. Or thank you, Susan, I appreciate your support of my small business, XO, Jennifer. Literally, that's it. That's all I do, okay? And then what I'll do is on the outside of the envelope, I have a Dymo label printer. On the outside of the envelope, I will print a label that says, if they're just getting the scent of the month flyer with a sample, it'll say, thank you so much for your recent Scentsy order. We appreciate your support of our small business. Please enjoy this free sample, XO, Jennifer. Okay. And then I stick this label on the outside of the envelope. That's it. That's it. Simple. Make it as simple as you possibly can. And that's what I do for follow-up. Okay. So I will know who got the mail, because it'll be in the people who last ordered in my workstation. Okay. It'll be those people, and then the people who I ship stock to. It'll be that's it. So the people who ordered all in June, like the second week of July, I might send them a DM and just say, hey, what'd you think of that new sample? Or did you get that? Or whatever. Okay. Whatever you do for follow-up, keep it simple. That is as simple as I go. It's not complicated. It's not in detail. I mean, I have 1,800 PRV right now, and it's all follow-up. It's all repeat customers, every bit of it. And it's like the 15th of the month or 14th or whatever, right? So now don't get me wrong. I've built that, right? I've built that. It's not going to happen like you join Scentsy and blah, blah, blah. People are just going to come flocking to you. I've built that, but that's how you sustain your customer base. And that's how you keep people coming back to you. Okay. Verbal thank you within 2 or 3 days, something in the mail the next month. So I knock out the entire month of June and the first week of July. That's just what works for me in my life. Okay. If you want, like I said, if you want to do it every week, do that. If you want to do it once a month, feel free to have permission to do that. Okay. You have permission to do that. Just get it, just do it. Just get it done. That's the important part. Okay. Just get it done. And then I'll send them a text or a DM the second week of July and just say, hey, did you get that in the mail? Okay. If they haven't already sent me something that says, thank you so much for my free sample. And that's pretty much as detailed as my follow-up goes. If I haven't heard from them in 2 or 3 months, then I will send them a message and just be like, hey, like, this is what we have, or this made me think of you. Like, do you need some more wax? Do you need some more laundry? Whatever it is for that person. And then if they just don't respond, you know, I don't keep sending them things in the mail. So I know some people have a system of sending out scent of the month samples for 3 months to the people that order from them. That's not what I do. You can do that if you want to. So let's say someone places an order in May. They would get a scent of the month sample from you in June, July, and August. And if they don't reorder again by August, then you stop sending them samples. A lot of people do that. I do not. Because I found that that is not duplicatable for me, and it just adds to my workload and doesn't really produce a lot of income in the long run. Okay. So I just go month by month. Like that's where I live. That's how my brain works. That's how my business works for me. Okay. As far as keeping track of details on each customer, I do not keep track of details on each customer in a written way. If you want to, you can create a customer profile. where you just have name, address, information on a printout that you can fill in if you like to. You can create a customer profile, I believe, in Amy, and keep details about your customers. What I do is like, for example, when I'm at events and I meet a customer, I'll have their information on their order form. I keep the top copy. And after they've left me, I'll write down anything I learned about them on that order form just to be able to reference later on. So I would say, has brown hair, is a teacher, brought her son with her, whatever. Okay. Newly married, newly divorced, like whatever, like anything I learned about that person in conversation, I would write it down on that paper. So that way I could have that to go back and reference. But I don't transfer that information anywhere else. I just keep it there on the order form, and I keep the order form in case I need it, because transferring information from one place to another, again, just adds to my workload and doesn't produce income for me. Okay. So in my business, it doesn't make any sense for me to take that information from an order form and then write it down on a piece of paper just so I can put it in a binder, or take it and put it in my workstation, or take it and put it in an Excel spreadsheet. Like that's not making me money. Okay. So that's what I do. Hopefully that helps you. Okay. Emily Boyd said, I'm having a hard time getting people to host a party. I've offered incentives, etc., and no one wants to. What's the best way to ask? So I have a few things to say. Number one, I think you should always host your own party. That's where you need to begin. If you're having a hard time getting parties or people wanting to do parties for you, you should host your own. People need to know that it's simple, it's easy, it's fun, they can get a lot of free stuff, and they can have that realization when you host your own and have them as a guest there, okay? They need to look at your party and think, oh my gosh, this is fun and simple and easy, and I want to do this, okay? If your party is not those things, then you need to revamp your party so it is fun, simple, easy, and productive, okay? That's the first thing. You need to have your own party for sure, for sure, for sure. The second thing is, as far as offering incentives, you have to offer incentives that your host wants, right? So if you're offering your hostess like a 3-pack of wax and they're like, okay, I got like wax till the cows come home, but maybe there's a warmer they really want, or maybe they like really want to try the Scentsy Soak. Okay. You have to know what your host wants and offer them an incentive that's meaningful to them to make them jump. Okay. So make sure you're doing that relationship building and finding out what your host wants and offering them that. The third thing is, I always have really great success with, and I've seen a couple people do it this week, and I do it probably twice a year. I will either make a collage of 8 to 10 different mini warmers, or there are on flyer groups, just go find them. I don't even know where to begin to tell you where. On flyer groups, you can go find an image that has like every little like mini warmer that we have. People use them in Facebook parties and whatnot, okay? I will post that to my public Facebook page, and I'll say something like, which one is your favorite? Hashtag feeling generous, hashtag you'll be glad you comment, whatever, right? So you can't say you're going to give anything away for free, whatever, but people just love to give their opinion, right? So when people comment and say what their favorite warmer is, I will DM them and say, okay, look, you want to have a party for me so we're in July, I would say in July or August, if you have a party for me and it meets the qualifying, I'll give you this warmer for free on top of your host rewards. Okay. What you do by doing that is your host lets you know what they want. Okay. Your host lets you know what's important to them and what they like. They also have no problem commenting because they're not committing to anything. They're just giving their opinion. Okay. And then you slide on into their DMs and tell them that you will give it to them for free for hosting a party. What you do is you use the perpetual party reward on their party, so it only costs you $10. At a minimum, if the party is 200, at a minimum, you make $40 commission. You can make up to $60 commission, okay? $40 to $60 commission on that, and you would be spending $10 to get that. You'd also meet new people, incentive points, all these things, okay? So you're not losing money. You're not going into the hole. You're not spending money. Like it's a transaction. I always have really, really great success with that. I would work on that. Also, the other thing I'm going to suggest is that you go to YouTube, go to the training center and search booking parties, bookings, whatever, and start to train yourself. Learn about different things to say, different ways to have conversations, how to overcome objections, okay? The last piece of the puzzle is that you just have to keep asking. Please trust me. Sometimes you have to ask 50 people before one says yes, but you can't be told no a few times or even 10 times or even 15 times and just think like, oh, this isn't for me, I'm going to give up. You really just have to keep going. Sometimes there are seasons in your business where no one wants to host a party. I might be the only SSD to ever tell you that, because everyone else wants to tell you like, oh, just do this and you're going to get a party. Listen, there might be seasons in your business where no one wants to host a party. Yes, it happens. Okay, it does happen. So what you have to do is get creative and find ways to earn PRV and get customers into your business in other ways. Okay, it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. It's just a season. It really, really, really does happen. So you get creative, you try new things. Bingo parties have been really hot right now, by the way. Okay. If you're trying to book online parties and no one wants them, you can try basket parties. If you're trying to book basket parties and no one wants them, try to book online parties. Like, get creative, get uncomfortable, do things that you wouldn't normally do to change the result that you have. Okay. Laura said, getting sales during the J months. Some of you have probably never even heard the J month thing, because I don't ever talk about it, because I don't believe in J months. Okay. I think J months are BS. And if you're like, what the heck is a J month? I will tell you right now. January, June, and July. Those are your J months. And there's a myth, huge myth in direct sales, that those are your toughest months. Well, that's a BS lie, because June was another record-breaking month for Scentsy. July is breaking records. Okay, we're just growing like crazy. The only J months, the only slow months are the ones that you create. Okay, so if you're going to have in your mind and in your brain that June, January, and July are slow or they're hard, guess what's going to happen? You're going to manifest that, because that's what you've spoken into your life and in your business. Trust me. The only slow months are the ones that you create. Our business runs on a 90 to 120 day cycle. So what's happening in your business now is a result of what you did 90 to 120 days ago. If you're new, this doesn't apply to you, obviously. Okay. But as you start to build your business, just know, especially if you're new, what you're doing right now, you can harvest that in the next 90 to 120 days. You are planting the seeds for the future. The only slow months are the ones that you create. So don't create them. Take that thought out of your mind. If you're having a hard time getting sales, it's time to change what you're doing. If what you're doing isn't working, you change what you're doing. It's very simple. Okay. Michaela says, what's your style of recruiting people? What's the best way to get people to join your team? I want to have more people to join me on this journey, but I don't know how to get more than a few teammates at a time. I have done countless trainings on recruiting. And every time I ask people what they want to know about or learn about, everyone says recruiting. Every time. So if you're struggling with recruiting, know that you're not alone. Okay. It's clearly not just you. Okay. Because everyone has this desire to learn about recruiting every time. Here's the thing. People have major hangups with recruiting. You got hangups. Okay. You got hang-ups. Recruiting is no different from selling Scentsy. If you can sell a warmer or a diffuser, then you can sell a $99 starter kit and a dream. It's the same thing. Let me tell you something okay? I bet you are having more sales conversations than you are having recruiting conversations. So if you had as many recruiting conversations as you have sales conversations, or if your follow-up log for recruiting looked like your follow-up log for sales, maybe you'd have more recruits. If you can sell a warmer, or if you can sell a diffuser, then you can sell a $99 starter kit and a dream, or you can sell a $39 starter kit. How do people join for $39, Jennifer? Well, let me tell you, they host a party and you give them the host exclusive starter kit. When someone hosts a party and they have a $200 party at minimum, they can get the $59 starter kit and apply their $20 in host credit towards it, making the most they'd ever have to pay for a starter kit, $39. $39. Here's what I also advise. You have people who want to join your team, have them host a party as soon as their party reaches 200. Okay, you can do it one of two ways. This first way is as soon as their party reaches 200, you close that sucker out. You have them get the host exclusive kit for $39, and then they start their own party so they can start accruing PRV. Or you can rock out that party to 500, whatever you want to do, and flip the party to them. But I recommend, I'm just going to tell you, you can do it either way, honestly. It's really dependent on the person joining your team. You can find success in either way. I think that when people have some skin in the game, they do better, as in when they have to pay for their starter kit and their PRV isn't gifted to them necessarily in the beginning. I think when they have a little skin in the game, they do better and they stay around longer. So have them pay the $39, okay? Close that party out at 200 and then keep rocking out the party, but on their PWS, having them starting accruing PRV from there on out to reach shooting star. Okay, that's my opinion. Now I have flipped parties before and given all the PRV to someone as well. So you got to feel the situation. Okay, feel the vibe that you're getting and feel what is right for you and your customer and your team. Honestly, recruiting, it's just having conversations. It's just talking. I've given so many trainings on recruiting, but like some of my best, quickest tips are going to be make it all about them. It's not about you. Make sure you talk about them and how this business can benefit them. Don't word vomit. The number one turnoff to a new recruit is when you word vomit or overload with information. Number one reason people don't join you. Only answer their questions. So if someone asks you, how much can I make? You're not gonna send them a YouTube video link to the compensation plan and someone talking about it for 45 minutes. You're gonna say, look, when you sign up, you make 20% commission. As soon as you sell your first 1,000, you get a permanent pay raise of 25%. If you sell 2,000 in any month, you get a bonus. And that's it. That's all you're gonna say. You're not gonna talk about team building. You're not gonna talk about my superstar director makes this. I make $1,000. You're not going to talk about that. That's overwhelming. It's too much information. You gave them more information than they asked for. Okay. Only answer people's questions. Keep it short and sweet. Make it about them and increase the amount of conversations you're having. I promise you, if you're having as many recruiting conversations as you're having sales conversations, you're going to start to see some movement. And if what you're doing isn't working, then you change it. How do you avoid getting burnt out? Between school, my job, having a kid, and Scentsy, I have the time to do it when I get home from work, and I get in a groove when I do, but I get burnt out easily. Anyone else ever get burnt out? It's real. Burnout is real, okay? And I don't even just mean Scentsy, I just mean life too. Like life can burn you out, especially because the world is weird right now and heavy and all this craziness. So ways that you can avoid burnout. I have been burnt out in my business before. I have thought about quitting many times. Okay. So if you've ever thought about quitting, don't even think for 2 seconds that you're alone or that people who are successful don't think about quitting. Like, trust me, it happens all the time. Ways to avoid that are setting good, healthy boundaries. Okay. Boundaries is something I've really been coaching a lot of directors on lately too, because a lot of directors give and give and give and give and give, and they either don't fill their own cup or they're too available for their team, and that can be really exhausting. So good, healthy boundaries are really important for you to set in your business. And when I say boundaries, I mean you are not always accessible. I mean you take an entire day off a week, maybe 2. When I say boundaries, I mean that you don't respond to someone who texts you at 10 or 11 p.m. unless you're a night person and that's your jam, okay? But when I say boundaries, I mean that. When I say boundaries, I also mean that you put your phone away and spend time with people that you care about and you don't have your phone with you, distracting you, that you're present. When I say boundaries, I also mean that you fan the flames of your desires and things that bring you joy outside of Scentsy. You have to do non-Scentsy things that make you happy. Because if you're obsessed with Scentsy, and trust me, we've all been there, If you become obsessed with Scentsy, it will eat you alive. If you become obsessed with anything, it will eat you alive at some point, okay? Healthy boundaries. If you need help setting boundaries, talk to your sponsor, talk to your director, book a coaching call with someone. We can have like a bird's eye view of your business and show you where maybe you need some more boundaries. Also, I know boundaries sound restrictive, but I promise you they are freeing. And there's so much incredible freedom. When you set boundaries and you're like, but what do you mean boundaries? I can be present with my family, but I'm like doing double time. They don't have time to work my business. If you can take an hour and do intentional focused work on your business and do all the things you really need to do and do all of your income producing activities and focus in and not get distracted, then you can go be present with your family and put your phone away. Okay. Then you can go be with people that you love or go out with your friends or do whatever you want to do and not be distracted by your Scentsy business. Okay. This business is meant to enhance your life, not to take over it. It's meant to make your life better, not to distract or take from your life. And if it's taking from your life, then I promise you the problem isn't with Scentsy, the problem is with your boundaries. Okay? Scentsy's not the problem. In every single business, I need you to hear me. In every single Scentsy business, the only variable is the consultant. That's the only variable. We all have the same access to training. We sell the same products, okay? We all have access to the same everything. The only variable is the consultant. So why do some people succeed and some people fail? Actions or non-actions of the consultant. Why do some people get burnt out and some people flourish? Boundaries or not enough boundaries by the consultant, okay? The only variable is the consultant. I understand getting burnt out. Please learn from my mistakes. I also have coached some of you and you refuse to put boundaries up in your business. Like, I can't do anything else for you. Like, if you don't want to learn from my mistakes, you got to go learn on your own. I get it. But trust me, there's an easier road, and that's learning from JA's mistakes because I made them for many years. So let me help you build a bigger business than I could ever build, and faster and less burnt out, okay? I will say right now, I'm not burnt out in my business, and I love doing what I do, and I'm so passionate about this. There have been plenty of seasons where I have been burnt out, and it's because I made the wrong choices. It's because I made the wrong choices, okay? Follow-up systems, I already covered that. How do you work the 80-20 rule? So if you don't know what the 80-20 rule is, it's 80% of your time should be spent on your own business and 20% on your team. That still rings true. However, at some point in your business, that does become more of like a 60-40, 50-50 kind of rule. At this point in my business, it's probably more of like a 50-50 kind of rule for me. The majority of my income comes from director generation bonuses. So that's where the majority of my time gets spent there. And it also gets spent building new directors to increase that director generation bonus. Because I've had a business for 10 years and I've taken great care of my customers, you know, like I just talked about how simple my follow-up system is, it is really simple. And what you want to do is do something that's so simple so that your PRV can kind of be on autopilot. I'm still meeting new people. I'm still doing all the things that I'm supposed to do. But the idea is to set yourself up so that your PRV is on autopilot. And you build that. It's not instant. It's not as soon as you start. It takes many years. But trust me, I have, what did I say, 1,800 PRV right now. And I mean, people have been coming to me. I'm just saying that. But I built that, okay? I built that over 10 years. Of course, I connect with people and share what's coming out and do follow-up and do one-on-ones. But I'm just telling you, if you're like 1,800 PRV, I've never had that. It's because I built that over 10 years. You want it to run on autopilot. That's how you do it, by keeping it simple. So for me, it's a 50-50. When I was building, and I'm still building, but when I was like trying to get to director, okay, I took every opportunity that I could to work my business. I took every event. I took every party. I lost sleep. I got up early. I'm telling you, every opportunity that I had to build my business or work, I took it. And it was still 80-20 at that point, my own personal business, and 20% helping my team grow. But when I say like 80%, I mean, I was like hustling, working really super hard. Oh, hi, good night. Good night, daughter. So, and then I said, someone asked about follow-ups. So I do the 72 hours, 2 to 3 days, initial thank you. Something in the mail, I do the first week for the previous month. And then if I don't hear from them in 2 to 3 months after I do that, hey, did you get that sample? I'll connect with them. And I also am, keeping in touch with my VIPs 3 to 5 times a week on my VIP page on Facebook. So, but like personally connecting, that was my follow-up that I shared earlier, which is very simple. What's the best packaging for sending out monthly Scentsy mail to customers? And do you use one of those printout postages? Yes, I do. And I can't believe it took me so long to use pirateship.com. Okay. Pirateship.com. You can do it. I promise. Even if you're like, I'm scared of the computer, I promise you can do it, because I'm not like a computer guru by any means. And I used to package everything up and go stand in line at the post office and then stand there for 35 minutes while they stamped all my packages, and everybody hated me. And now my life is so much better because I just go drop everything off and I'm like, bye. Okay. So here's what I do. I have, can you see this back here? I have a clear bin right here. It's just like a big clear bin. And when I am putting mail together and it's ready to go to the post office, I just toss it in the bin. And then like 3 times a week, I go to the post office and like dump the whole bin. Okay. So here's what I use. I use bubble mailers like these. Everything I get on Amazon, everything, because it just comes right to my house. It's the easiest way to do it. Do not buy things at Target or Walmart. They're overpriced, and you can get a lot better deals on Amazon. Okay. And Staples, don't do that either, unless it's like business cards. Yeah, cool. Holly has one too. So I use bubble mailers. This is something I use here. This is a 7x9 bubble mailer. I also use these guys, and let me show you these guys too. Sorry. Okay. I also use these guys right here. These are big bubble mailers, and you can search bubble mailer on Amazon and you will find a bajillion different things. They have bubbles in them, so they're a little bit cushioned and they're padded. So anything that needs like protection, like wax, or I send room sprays in here. I've even sent counter clean, bathroom cleaner, like everything right in these guys. Okay. And the big bubble mailers, these are 10x13, these are 7x9. I just buy them in packs of like 20 or 50, so I have them on my hand. I also use these. These are called poly mailers. They basically are like a bag. Okay. Poly mailers are really great for anything that doesn't need protection. Scent packs, scent circles, car bars, anything that like is no big deal. Okay. You can also put things in here like catalogs and samples and washer with I mean, all that kind of stuff can go in these bags. This is a huge one, so you don't need these, but they make them in smaller sizes. Then I also use, so those are all from Amazon, poly mailers, and they come in a bunch of different colors and styles and whatever. I just buy whatever's cheapest, okay? Because I'm all about control and expenses. Then I use these. These are from Scentsy Success, and these are catalog mailers. Catalog fits. I'm gonna cover up my customer's information. Catalog fits right inside. Okay. And so like, for example, with this one, I put a buy, like what's going discontinued with the scratch and snips of things going away. And also, if you want to take a screenshot really quick, this is the thank you label that I put on. Is that blurry or not? I can't really tell. This is the thank you label that I put on all of my envelopes for when people get scent of the month samples or whatever, okay? It says, thank you for your recent Scentsy order. We appreciate your support of our small business. Enjoy this sample of our newest fragrance. That's it. So that way I don't have to like write things a bajillion times. I just put it on a label and put it on the outside, and then they actually want to open it because they're like, ooh, there's a sample inside. Okay. So these mailers fit a catalog perfectly. I use these. So the only thing about Pirate Ship is you cannot do large envelopes, and this classifies as a large envelope, and it ships for like $1.80. And it only does packages, but like these are all packages, everything like that. With Pirate Ship, you do get a discount too. It's actually cheaper than the post office. So pirateship.com, and get you a postage scale. It looks like this. Again, Amazon. You can get one for 20 bucks, okay? Get a postage scale. You weigh your package. You measure your package. $1, okay? You weigh your package, you measure your package, you put in all of the things to Pirate Ship, and then it says, okay, here's how much it is. Boom, you buy the label, and then you print it out. I print it out on these. These are 2 to a page. It's sticker. It's like literally a giant label. 1 label, 2 label. Pirate Ship now has the option to print like 4. So as soon as I run out of these labels, I will get the ones that are 4. Okay? So you can get these. These are called half sheet labels. You can get these on Amazon. Half sheet labels. Run them right through your printer. You stick it on there, boom, and you drop it off at the post office. You don't have to wait in line. You can drop it off. They're gonna have a package drop off. You can drop everything off right in there. So you can print that from your computer. Dymo, I do have a Dymo label maker, and that's how I make that label. It says thank you. It's how I make labels that you guys get postcards from me. That's how I make those on there. That's how I make these like last chance for this catalog labels. They just come out on a big thing. Fast, it's easy, it's amazing, saves so much time. The Dymo label maker is a big investment. I think they're pricey. I don't remember how much it is because I bought it a while ago, but I think they're pricey. So don't buy it unless you are 100% certain you want to do mail and you're going to use it. Okay. When you're doing business stuff like this, control your expenses as much as possible. Go cheap. Like, don't feel like you have to get fancy or like get wicked cute. I promise you, if your customer gets like a catalog in a clear mailer or a mailer that has like dogs and bow ties on it, they're not going to care. So don't spend more money for dogs and bow ties, okay? This is getting really long and I'm so sorry, and feel free to go if you want to. But I'm going to answer your questions and roll through them real quick. Okay. How do you go about selling at events? How do you find them? Are you required to have a license, etc.? Events are my favorite way to work my business. You can search Facebook for events. So you can just put in like literally events and your city or state. You can Google that way. You can, if you want larger events, you can go to the convention center or civic center's website and look at their calendar, find out the name of the event, and then contact the event coordinator. Those are my best tips for finding events. You're not required to have a license, should depend on your state. What equipment do you need? You need tables, you need power strips, you need some way to display your wax. So either you need grid wall, that's transportable. I get that from storesupply.com. You either need grid wall or you can lay them flat on the table. You'll need tablecloths. I use the boxes to display the warmers on top of, so I don't think you need fancy anything there, but you need tablecloths, signage, a ton of power strips, because if you have something out on your table, it should be lit up and plugged in. Don't put something on your table that's not plugged in. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? And then I answered that one already. What's the best way to network besides social media? Events. I love, love, love events. A lot of places actually are having events right now, believe it or not. They're having events like with masks and social distancing, so don't just cut them out. You could join your local chamber. I actually know a consultant who joined her local chamber, and she goes to the chamber to all their like mingling events and whatever. And when people ask her what she does, she says, I make beautiful closing gifts for realtors. That's it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so smart, because who's at chamber events, realtors, lots and lots of realtors. And so she doesn't say I'm a Scentsy consultant or I sell Scentsy or this is what I do. She has like a point, right? So I thought that was really great. So events are a great way. Asking people for referrals, parties. That's how you network. Also wearing Scentsy gear everywhere you go. Not being afraid to make connections. In fact, the other day, I think I told you guys this, I put a scent circle on someone's car because I saw they had a Scentsy scent circle hanging in their rearview mirror, and it was in the Target parking lot. And so I had a scent circle in my bag to give away, and I just wrote on the back of it, I just said, I'm new to the area. I love your Scentsy in your car. I'd love to be your Scentsy girl if you don't have one. That's it. And I stuck it under her windshield. And guess who sent me a Facebook friend request? And guess who is now connected to me? My new customer. Okay. Get creative, guys. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Okay. How do I get more customers outside of friends and family? Parties, events, referrals. How have you been working since the virus shut down? So much. I'm not doing events. I'm doing all the follow-up, and I'm staying A+ on my follow-up game. I am doing VIP postings. I'm doing more like live videos and unboxings than I've ever done before. And like I said about the girl in Target parking lot, like I'm literally just trying to find all the crazy ways that I would never normally think of to meet new customers. And I'm doing things like that. Do I have a journey packet you send to potential recruits? I do not. And I'll tell you why. When I know a lot of people make recruiting packets or possibility packets, and you can totally make them. You know what I would put in it? A catalog and a join flyer and a sample and like a shooting star flyer. That's it. So I don't have packets already made up because for me, that's how simple they are. I think, again, when you overwhelm a potential recruit with too much information, it can be like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. So I just want to give them the catalogs. They can obsess over our products. All I want to give them is this join flyer right here from the Scentsy store, okay? Not one that I specially made. Here's the thing you got to remember. When people get a possibility packet from you or ask you for information, they're also sort of learning how they would run their business. And if it looks complicated or too much, like they couldn't replicate what you just did, they're not going to join you. Okay. Very few people will be like, oh my gosh, look at this amazing flyer she designed. And like, she has her own emoji and like, she put her face on a warmer and like all this crap and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. I got to join her team. I promise you, people are looking at that and they're like, I don't even know how to do that. So I could never be successful. Trust Jennifer. So make it super simple. Catalog, join flyer, the ones from Scentsy, and they're cheap, $3 for 25. You don't have to spend any, put your label on the back. That's it. Shooting star flyer, because I think it's really important that people have that information right off the bat. And a sample, they have to have something to smell. So a sample, a scent circle, whatever. And that would be all I would give them because I want to have the connection and the conversation with them as much as possible. And then I'll answer these questions. We're almost done. What advice would you give to a brand new consultant? Be willing to try everything. Be willing to try everything. Like, don't just be like, oh, this is how my sponsor did it, or this is what I've done in the past, or, you know, this is what I think will, like, just be willing to try everything because you never know. And just have all the conversations with everyone. Talk about your business with everyone. What advice would you give to a veteran consultant experiencing burnout? Number one thing is to reach out for help. Reach out for help. Whether that's your sponsor, your director, your star director, your superstar director, reach out for help and ask for help and get into a coaching call and learn how to set boundaries. Okay. What advice would you give to a consultant who feels stuck and isn't really sure what to do next? Start over. Get your new consultant guide, read it cover to cover, pretend like today is day 1, and spend the next 70 days reaching for sensational start level 3. When you feel stuck and you don't know what to do or things aren't working for you, it's time to start completely over and pretend you're brand new and go back to the basics. You probably overcomplicated something. you're probably doing something too much or overthinking something or getting too crafty or whatever. Keep it so basic and simple. If you haven't like heard me say this enough over the last several years, simplicity has to be the theme of your business. It has to. There's so many reasons simplicity is good for your business. It's good for you so you don't get burnt out. It's good for being attractive to people who want to join you. People don't want to do complicated or hard things. They want to do simple, fun things. So when your business is simple and that's the message you're sending, it's good for recruiting. It's good for your heart. It's going to make you want to keep doing it. It's duplicatable, which means you can teach your team how to do it. Okay. Simplicity has to be the theme of your song. And usually when I feel stuck in my business or something isn't working, it's because I've overcomplicated something every time. Every time. I've had a handful of potential recruits ask me what I actually make. Like they're not content with the you make this percent, 25%, whatever answers. Do you ever tell potential recruits what your paycheck looks like? Yes, I do. But I also tell you what my paycheck looks like, right? I am an open book and I'm not afraid to tell people what my paycheck is or was or has been. You know, I've had a $400 paycheck when I first joined Scentsy, and then I've had a $24,000 paycheck in the last couple of months. So I do tell people when they ask. It's weird, right? Like you would never ask your doctor like what they make. You know what I mean? And you would never ask the manager of like your local grocery store what they make. And people feel like they can ask us. And so it's weird. And I used to be like, that's so rude. I used to get offended by it. But you know what? Like, I totally get it, man. I get it. I get it. Because there are a lot of things out there that don't make money. And there are a lot of things that are scams. And there are a lot of things that are like crap. I get it. So that's why I'm totally cool with sharing my income and like what has happened in my life through this business. And even if my income was $50 a month or $500 a month, I would share it and I would be proud of it, because $50 a month can be life-changing to someone. $500 a month could be life-changing to someone, could be life-changing to you. Could be life-changing to me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter the number or the size or whatever. People just want to know that this isn't a joke. You know, they just want to know that like, this isn't a scam. And so I get it. I get it when people ask and I share, but that's your call. That's really your call. You get to decide how open or not open you want to be in your business. Okay. So that's it for questions. I think I saw another question in the chat. Let me see if I can pull up. And if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself if you want to say anything. Hannah said, what do you do when you get a recruit? Do you help them with their launch party, and how much help do you give them in the beginning to get started? So this is a process we call onboarding. When someone joins your team, you want to train them, teach them, or point them in the direction so they can train themselves, point them in the right directions. So typically I like to get on the phone or FaceTime with someone at least once when they join, within the first couple of days. I want to show them around the workstation, answer any burning questions they have, talk to them about parties, shipping, all those kinds of things that people need to know in the beginning. There is a document in Radiant Rockstars called 70-Day Coaching Plan, and it's for sponsors, and it's in the Files tab of Radiant Rockstars. It's for sponsors, and it will help you be a good sponsor for the first 70 days of your new consultant's journey. Helps you get all of the information to them, but like without word vomiting it all on day one, because that can be overwhelming. Helps you focus on one thing at a time: shooting star, promoting sensational start, promoting certified, getting sensational start, etc. So I definitely recommend following that. I definitely recommend getting on the phone, or FaceTime would be preferred, video chat within the first couple of days so that you guys can have that connection, and you can answer their questions. And what I always do is I say, okay, do your first things first checklist within 48 hours of joining, complete the whole thing. Do all of the training in the training center for a new consultant. That's under the new consultant section. After you do that, so I want to have it like an initial phone call with them, and then I give them this quote unquote homework. Okay. and then I say, after you do that, we can have another talk and I can answer any more questions that you might have after you've done that. Because I want to set them off on the right foot of knowing where to find information and learning how to train themselves and understanding that I can't work their business for them. They're the ones who have to be in control, and they're the ones who have to pull the trigger, and they're the ones who have to do the training and like apply the things. Okay. But I also want them to feel supported. So that's why you have that initial call, give them that direction. First things first, within 48, all the training under that, set up their launch party, and then we'll have a second call and answer any of their questions. And then it's just kind of as they need over the next 70 days. If it's an in-person launch party and I'm in the area, she asked, do you help them with a launch party? If it's an in-person, oh my gosh, there's something in my oven this whole time. I'm like, what smells like toast? Okay, that's so funny. I just burnt whatever that is. So do you help them with the launch party or do you have them throw it? So if it's an in-person party and I'm in the area, yes, I go and I do a lot of the work because it's a lot of information in the beginning. Yeah, I'm crushing it, you guys. I am crushing it. And if it's an online party, to be honest with you, I haven't actually done anyone's online launch party. I know Amanda Halsey does them like amazing. So Amanda Halsey does all the online launch parties for her people. If you can do it, like I totally recommend doing that because that will again help someone feel supported and feel like they are able to learn as they grow. So Ikela gives them a mock-up that they can copy. So there's all different ways. You just got to do like what works for you and your business. And if you're seeing the same results from something and it's not the result that you want, like if you're doing it a certain way and it's not giving you the results, switch it up with your next recruit and try it a different way. Yep. Sponsoring does take a lot of time. You're right. I did not see a question if it wasn't in Radiant Rockstars. No. Let me stop the recording because this is getting long. Peace out, YouTube.